Recently, I spoke about the fact that the American public spends over $93 billion on beauty services and beauty treatments. I'm Cindy Golbert, the original Sin, here to impart a bit of wit and wisdom. So this $93 billion, it's not just the ladies that are spending this money. The ladies are spending around $400 a month, but the gentlemen are right up there with $300 a month. And don't get me wrong, I think pampering yourself is nice, spending money on, beauty treatments and fine and dandy. But we do go overboard a wee bit. And the people we're trying to idolize are people that live their lives just to be beautiful. I mean, it's their business to be beautiful. And they spend most of their lives trying to be beautiful. So what would happen if we, instead of having a goal to look like somebody, having a goal to act like somebody or think like somebody? And when you look back through history, you have a few examples of people we could possibly look up to, like Mahatma Gandhi, anti-war activist, Winston Churchill, resolute leader, Martin Luther King, who through his civil rights movement changed the way America feels, and hopefully will continue to change that till we get where we should be on that issue. You have Nelson Mandela, who quietly imparted his freedom beliefs. You have Abe Lincoln. He is the embodiment of liberty. Mother Teresa, who spent her whole life trying to end suffering. Albert Einstein, who rewrote the laws of nature. Stephen Hawking, who through his resolute and positive thinking overcame horrible handicaps to do wonderful things. You have Bill Gates. I'm not a big fan, but Bill Gates did inspire a whole generation of innovators. And then there's Oprah Winfrey, who empowers women to do great things. Now, of this list, I don't see, and I don't want to insult anybody, but let's face it, none of them are beautiful people. Okay, I mean, Mahatma Gandhi is cute in a sort of E.T. sort of way, but I mean, Abe with his warts and Albert Einstein with his, crazy hair. I mean, it's not exactly somebody you want to look like on a Saturday night. Another thing is, of this whole list, these leaders imparted inspiration in their adulthood. And also, out of these 10 leaders I mentioned, only 2 were women. Now, if we fast forward into our present state, and you think about who are the people that are inspiring us or inspiring the next generation, which is the generation that's going to take care of us in the adulthood, or maybe not me, because I'm sort of way up there, but we'll take care of the younger generation. They're all very, very young. They're children. I mean, they're in their teens, and some of them aren't even in their teens. It's wonderful, and it is really inspiring. So the ones that we know off the top of our heads are Malala. I mean, this poor young lady was shot twice, and she's gone on to not only be an author, she's a speaker, standing up for education for women and girls, not only in Pakistan, but all over the world. You have Greta Thunberg, who at the ripe old age of 14, started to get the youth involved in the climate change issue. And right following in her footsteps, of more or less the same age, you have Jamie Margolin and you have Irsa Hirsi, both involved with climate change. I have to read these names because you have the 5 young teenagers from Parkland High School. After the horrible tragedy there, they started the Never Again movement. to fight gun control and to try to get gun control, good gun control law passed in the United States. There were, I think, 3 young ladies and 2 young men in that group. You have Yada Shahidi, who is she is involved in empowering girls and women in a positive way. She's only 19. You have a 14-year-old Marley Diaz, and she started this 1,000 Girls book, and she's doing diverse representation. Desmond Napoli, who's 12 years old, he is into youth visibility for the LGBTQ movement, and he's spectacular, 12 years old. And then you have the 11-year-old Mary Kopeni, I'm sorry, I put my book down, Mary Kopeni, who's the young lady who lives in Flint, Michigan, and was very upset about the water problem there. So she wrote to President Obama, who read her letter and flew out there. And she's been leading a water access movement ever since. Now, these are children, and I can say that because I'm 77, so anybody under 30 is a child. But these are literally 11, 12, 14, 16, 17-year-old kids that have it so together and are so inspirational, and they're so caring about the world. So it would seem to me that if I were a young person, I would start to think about what I want to be or who I want to be when I'm grown up. And beautiful does not come to mind. Now, I know the fact that you're watching this video, and this video is about wit and wisdom. I know you have senses of humor. And I also know that you're smart enough to want to perhaps learn something new or see something from a different point. So I think I'm preaching to the choir, or I'm singing to the choir, or whatever that phrase is. Because if you're watching this, you are aware of the fact that we have to change our priorities from wanting to be beautiful to making where we live a beautiful place. So what I propose is that in any conversation you have, just bring up the fact that perhaps we should try, instead of being beautiful physically, we should try to do beautiful things, not only for ourselves, but for other people. So we can have, instead of having a perfect body, we can have a perfect world. So I'm Cindy Golbert, Original Sin, imparting wit and wisdom. Be careful, but above all, be grateful.